I'm used to people leaving nasty comments under my post because I have a different opinion. And honestly, if you think about it, I have the most reasonable take here.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a terrible day to have a big red nose and work at the circus. The search is over. I'm calling it. The search for the world's biggest clown has finally come to an end, and I found our winner. Name a more iconic duo. A dogshit commentary YouTuber with no moral compass, and a take so outlandishly bad that for your own sanity, you write it off as something said for no other reason than to bring attention to a dying YouTube channel. This is essentially the internet's peanut butter and jelly. Now, I tend to not really talk about other commentary channels in my videos all that often, and that's really for no other reason than most of the time, if a commentary YouTuber says or does something that is worth talking about, usually they are just doing it for attention. Now, I hope you're seated for this because it might come as a surprise to some of you, but the commentary niche on YouTube is not, always considered the greatest one, and I think that's just because out of all the different niches on YouTube, commentary content has got to be the easiest way to get your foot in the door when it comes to uploading shit onto this website. All you need is an opinion, some sort of complex from your childhood where you really want people to hear you all the time can be helpful, and like $40 for a blue snowball, and you're good. Now, this relatively low barrier to entry means a lot of people can amass a pretty large following on this website by making commentary content. The drawback to this is, believe it or not, there's a lot of commentary channels, and most of them don't end up making it to the point that somebody like Critical does, where you could upload anything. You could upload a video from watching a fucking pot boil and it would get 1 million views because people just like Critical. So what happens with a lot of these commentary channels is that they blow up because they know how to pick the right topics, and whether it's just like a consistency issue or maybe their personality is just not there for a lot of people, it doesn't last and the views go away, and for a lot of people this makes them desperate. And generally what follows is one of two paths. Either one, they just become a grifter, or two, they start uploading videos with the most outlandish, absurd, bizarre opinions that a human being could ever form, in what is essentially an attempt to rage bait their channel back into relevancy. Or at least I really fucking hope that's the case with what we're talking about today. There's a commentary channel on this website named Bion, maybe Brioni, I don't know, I'm gonna say Bion, who a couple of days ago released a video titled Ross Creations Didn't Deserve All of the Hate. Now, if you don't know what this title is in reference to, I'll link one of my videos up in the top right corner, but real quick, just for some context, Ross Creations is a YouTuber who's been pretty well liked, I feel like, for his entire YouTube career. And then completely out of the fucking blue, a few days ago, he uploaded an Instagram reel where he built a catapult to launch possums into the air and kill them. Like, that was all it was. It was literally just a guy creating like a medieval fucking torture device that catapults small creatures into the air and then makes them fall to their death. It was super fucking weird, it was super gross, and like I said, it just kind of came out of left field. Obviously, this was met with a ton of criticism because this guy is just killing shit for content, and in what has to be 2025's most heroic act, Bion uploaded this video going to bat for Ross Creations, defending him and calling out some of the people that made videos on him or talked about him on social media, including myself. It is 20 minutes of stupidity, it is 20 minutes of straw manning, and it is genuinely one of the worst takes I have ever heard. So obviously, we're gonna watch it. With that being said, let's not waste any more time. Let's begin. Please subscribe.
Alright, hello guys, and welcome back to another video. So it appears that a YouTuber who I never thought would be in like some sort of controversy has decided that they wanted to stir up a controversy. And yeah, it's pretty crazy because people are quite frankly trying to cancel this guy and think that he should be ruined for this one thing that he did.
Okay, so I feel like we are already off to a not so great start. I feel like the framing of this is kind of off. I think it's very fair for a person to be like, hey, maybe we shouldn't support this YouTuber who is killing things in the name of an Instagram reel. He's framing this like it's absolutely insane for anybody to think that. I don't think it is. Now, in the comment sections of a lot of his videos, especially this one, he gets sort of mad if he thinks that you left your opinion or commented before you watched the entire video, which I agree is fair. So I'm going to make a point to include all of his opinions in this video, but there will be some stuff I'm skipping, like what we're skipping right now, which is him just like summarizing who Ross Creations is. I wanted to mention that though, because I will just be letting the video like continuously play as we both talk. I'm not going to be doing my usual like stop and zoom because this video is just going to be too long for that. Didn't want you guys or Bion to think I was skipping anything. Throughout this entire video, I skip maybe a minute of irrelevant stuff.
There are a lot of people out there that seem to not really like this guy. And the moment that he caught himself up in controversy for, we'll get into that in a second, but the first time he's gotten himself into controversy, everybody's just jumping on him being like, this is animal abuse, this is typical serial killer behavior and whatnot. Like, you guys gotta stop. You really do. Like, I can't remember the last time I've watched a Ross Creations video, but let's be real, man. You really think that this guy is a serial killer because one moment of him launching a possum into the sky and recording it and putting it up as like an Instagram reel or YouTube short, you think that that one moment signals to the world and everybody like that this guy is a serial killer?
Okay, so this is the first of many moments where Bion is either doing one of two things. He's either just like purposefully misconstruing the criticism that people are making against Ross, or he's just not understanding it. He gets caught up on this for quite some time, and I find that kind of funny because throughout this entire video, he's only going to show one screenshot where anybody even uses the words serial killer. But no, Bion, nobody is calling Ross Creations a serial killer, and that's why you didn't include a screenshot of anybody saying that. Obviously, if anybody does say that, they are being dramatic. What people are saying, and I think you're kind of being like obtuse about this on purpose, is that people who are found out to later be serial killers show signs, and one of those signs is abusing animals. Nobody in their right mind would say that anybody who's an animal abuser is a serial killer. That doesn't make what Ross did any better. Like, you see a lot of commentary YouTubers doing this. They take the most extreme forms of criticism they can find, and they're like, look at this, guys. Can you believe anybody would say this? People are blowing this out of proportion, and meanwhile, it's like 2 people out of hundreds of thousands.
Or is engaging in serial killer behavior. Like, guys, come on. I really don't care about the game anymore when it comes down to like these commentary videos and stuff like that. So I'm willing to voice my actual opinions on things, right? And it's not like I'm just gonna sit here and be with like the popular take on the situation.
Since I've started YouTube, this is by far the most shockingly cruel thing that I have seen posted for the sake of content.
But no, this huge YouTuber who has been well respected, I feel like, ever since he's blown up, has decided, you know what, harmless pranks are too easy, let's just start killing shit. I'm not gonna play the entire thing because I don't really want to show it. It'll also probably get this video taken down, but I will show you part of it. Fair warning, I am gonna censor it, I'm gonna blur it, but you will hear the possum hitting the ground because I feel like you kind of need to.
You know, it's like I'm editing the video right now and I really don't want to have to like record extra segments, but let's be real. What are you talking about? I really didn't want to show the video, but I had to show you it anyways. I'll show you half of it, or maybe I won't show you it all. I'll show you like the whole thing, right? I'll play the whole thing. It might get my video taken down. Like, come on. These are the people who you watch, by the way.
Okay, so I know that was a bit of a long segment, but I'm assuming the implication here is like, since he said he's not afraid to voice his opinion, yeah, real scary opinion to voice 3 videos a month about how Jack Doherty's a douchebag. But he says that, and then he throws up the like, unlike many others text on the screen, and then my video plays after that. I'm assuming that's like meant to mean that I made that video, and I was like pushing down feelings of like, oh, I really want to kill a fucking possum, but I have to be popular on YouTube, so I have to say that I don't think it's cool to kill a possum for no reason. Like, I don't really know what he thinks I'm doing when I'm making videos, but that's not really it. Then he talks about what I said with like how I'm gonna show the video, which I said something very clear. I said, I'm not going to show you the entire thing. I'm going to show you parts of it. And that's what I did. I blurred out the part where the possum was directly being flung into the fucking atmosphere and when the possum hit the ground. I also said that while I'm going to be blurring what you see, you are going to hear the possum hit the ground because it's important, and it was. I don't really know what dunk he thinks he's doing here, but in a video where I'm accusing another person of something very serious, which is abusing an animal for a YouTube video, I have the burden of proof. You guys need to understand the severity. I've got to give you something, and that's what I did. Somehow Bion turns this into me saying, oh, I don't really want to show you any of it, but I'm going to show you part of it. Maybe I'll show you half of it. Maybe I won't show you any of it. Maybe I'll show you the entire thing. A pretty bold strategy to play what I said verbatim and then immediately recount it and add like 7 of your own sentences. Thankfully, what you've said is dumb enough, so I don't have to do that to your argument to detract from it like you had to do to mine. But even ignoring all the shit he had to make up, the idea that me like not wanting to show show you a video, but showing you part of it anyway, because I thought it was important given what we were talking about. The idea that that somehow means that I'm like not saying my true opinions on YouTube doesn't even really make sense. There's no correlation there. I don't know if he just got shit like mixed up. That's like somebody saying, oh my god, look at this news reporter who just said viewer discretion is advised. They must think this is really cool. Like what? You're just not making sense, dude.
They tell you how bad it is and whatnot, and they even tell you, oh, he intentionally tried to kill it or whatever. He wanted to kill it. He was disappointed that it walked away. And by the way, if you watch the video once again, what are you talking about? Like, you could probably make a whole video just like about the way that these guys covered the situation, because they're on the side of the people that believe what occurred here is like animal abuse.
So for my own personal sanity, I feel like I should end the video here because this absolute fucking clown just said that me and this dude who's wearing a milkman hat, I don't actually know who that is, I'm sorry, are on the side of the people that believe what occurred is animal abuse. My brother in Christ, what the fuck are you about to follow this up with? Yes, I am on the side of the people who think that creating a contraption that launches a possum into the air, probably like 100 feet into the air, that is, to then have it fall back to the earth is animal abuse. Also, what he said before that about how we're the people who would tell you that he was intentionally trying to kill the animal. Yeah. Bion, I hope you know that you are completely alone on opposing that take. Even the guys on Instagram who found it funny are finding it funny because he was trying to kill it. Like, nobody in their right mind, and I mean that literally, not figuratively, could look at this and say this guy was not intentionally trying to kill that possum. You have lost all credibility by implying anything differently. If you want to explain to me what his intentions were in making this device and recording this video, please feel free.
And that Ross Creations should be arrested for animal abuse. They're trying to frame it every which way with little to no nuance. And then something that they're claiming to be animal abuse, they're just like totally fine with showing it on their video. Even though multiple times they're saying that, oh, I really don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I'm going to show half of it, which is weird in the first place.
No, it's really not. And I don't really understand like what your angle is with this. I don't know why you're so obsessed with the fact that I and this other guy said that we don't want to show the entire thing. Or I don't even think the other guy said anything about like not wanting to show it. The clip you included was just him saying it was cruel. But you've brought up about how our takes lack nuance. Dude, everything you've said lacks nuance. I feel like this is very easy to understand. While I don't necessarily want to bring a video of an animal cruelly being killed to my audience, like most people aren't watching YouTube to see something like that, and it's kind of a heavy thing to see, I still think that it's important to talk about, and I think it's important that Ross was called out for his behavior, and people got an accurate glimpse of what his behavior was like without having to watch the entire thing and actually see the possum falling. I feel like that is a very understandable stance, and I don't understand what your problem with it is. Really, I think your problem is you just have nothing else to attack, and you're just latching onto this one thing that doesn't even make sense. It's real funny how you don't address literally anything else that I said in that like 15-minute long video. This is all you could come up with.
Besides the tangent, back to the video though. Oh, and by the way, this is what people say when they say there are a lot of like unauthentic and fake motherfuckers out there that only care about pleasing you. Like, let's be real. If you were talking to one of these motherfuckers like they were your IRL friend or something behind the scenes where nobody's going to hear them talking about their real thoughts and opinions on the situation, they're probably going to be like, yeah, I don't care. I just said what I said because it was the popular thing to say and I would get a lot of positive attention from it.
Yeah, pal, I don't mean this to come off super mean. It probably will, but I think there might just be something wrong with you. If you think that the topic of animal abuse, out of all topics, is something that people are putting on a mask for, that people have to really force themselves to say, yeah, animal abuse is bad, you might just have some fucked up thoughts. Like, no, dude, I can assure you that if this came up in conversation with any of my friends, I'd say the exact same shit that I said in that video. Also, I hope you realize that pulling something out of your ass and then asserting it as a fact, like this idea that you somehow know what I'm like in person, is not an argument. Also, it makes you look fucking stupid.
Anyways, no, I think this is pathetic. I think everybody who's trying to cancel this guy over this one thing is delusional, because the things that I said earlier, people actually think that this guy is going to go around murdering people because he launched a possum into the air. Like, don't get me wrong, he shouldn't have done it. Yes, it's cringe. Yes, it most likely is harmful to the animal because the animal got launched into the fucking air and then hit the ground real hard. Yeah, there's a video of it that I'm not going to play, but
the fact that this guy has made like half of his video up until this point about me saying I don't really want to play the clip and then playing it anyways, to then say that he's not going to be playing the clip and then playing it later, I mean, you really can't make this shit up. Also, again, no, nobody is saying that Ross is going to go around killing people. Once again, you are being obtuse.
Surprisingly, though, if you watch the video, like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, this possum isn't hurt, but like, bro just like starts walking away as if like nothing happened.
Yeah, so you kind of address this later when you read a comment, and you sort of imply that there's no way to know this, but adrenaline does exist. I wouldn't recommend this, but you can watch videos on the internet of people being like run over by buses and having their bodies completely split into two, and the people are acting like nothing is wrong because their brain is not allowing them to process the information that their body has been split into two. Fatal injuries are not always immediately obvious. If you genuinely think that this possum is fine, I don't know what to say to you, man.
But yeah, once again, for anybody who's going to be like, oh yeah, Bion, I hate you because you're basically saying that this behavior is okay and you're defending the guy. Well, here's the thing. This behavior is not okay. And let's be real, I don't think this guy should be canceled because he launched a possum into the air. And I guess when it comes down to the serial killer aspect of what people are saying, people are acting like he didn't just do this for fun or because he thought it was funny for some content. People are acting like, yeah, he wanted that possum to suffer. He wanted whatever animal that was going to walk on the trap to suffer.
Okay, dude, again, maybe you should stop talking. The idea that you think it is somehow better that a person just thinks it's funny to launch a possum into the air and kill it rather than being like super focused on making sure it dies is any better is weird. Maybe you should start having a friend or a loved one read your scripts. You know, get a second set of eyes on some of this stuff before you make it public.
Like, we're sitting here acting like he intentionally wanted to abuse something, or that this is like a common occurrence at the Ross Creations channel, when it's not. Like, again, must I say it? Because I know people are already disliking the video and saying like whatever whatever comes to their mind with the comments. I mean, let's be real. I'm used to people leaving nasty comments under my post because I have a different opinion. And honestly, if you think about it, I have the most reasonable take here.
Yeah, man, that is a bulletproof defense. Everybody just hates me because my opinions are always so cool and so perfect, not because I have a fundamentally flawed way of thinking. Also, it's just pure fucking comedy for this guy to say that he has the most reasonable take. I like how that's not expanded upon or anything. This guy really seems to believe that if he just says it, it's immediately fact. Nothing needs to be proven. Anyways, for a minute he talks about a different YouTube drama that I don't know anything about, and it's not relevant to the Ross stuff, so we're gonna skip it.
Even though, here's the thing, a lot of you motherfuckers are not going to watch the video, and I'm calling it. You're going to see at least one comment, if not all of them, being like, oh, you shouldn't be defending Ross Creations. How dare you defend him? Are you a serial killer too? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? If you think that, what is wrong with you? Is it really that bad to have the take of, yeah, I don't think he should be canceled for this, let alone that, I mean, he's never done anything before that's, I guess, remotely this bad. Maybe you can sit there and like criticize him for like wasting delivery drivers' time with his obstacle courses. Maybe you could like stoop real low and be like that. But just because he decided to go too far on this one and like didn't think about what he was doing until he started getting backlash for it, and it was like this one time, right?
Holy shit, this guy is insufferable. Now, according to Bion, Ross didn't know what he was doing. While he was building a slingshot and setting a trap to make a possum walk into that slingshot, he just didn't know what he was doing. He accidentally went too far. Like, holy fucking shit, dude, what are you saying? Now you're infantilizing this grown-ass man and speaking on his behalf, acting like he doesn't know what he was doing. He titled the fucking video Possum Launcher. What do you mean, dude? My god. Also, it feels like you keep using the word cancel to frame this in a certain way. This is not somebody being canceled. This is somebody being held responsible for the extremely stupid and immoral thing they did. Again, you're being obtuse.
Why am I going to sit here and be like, yeah, bro is showing serial killer vibes. This is what serial killers do before they go and like mass murder people, right? Or, oh, we should cancel him because he abuses animals. He's an animal abuser, even though he fucking launched a possum into the air. And if you watch the video, it's not like Ross is sitting here laughing at what just happened. No, I mean, he looked pretty concerned, okay? It's not like he was finding enjoyment out of this, right?
My god, the moment you start to think that this guy's take cannot possibly get any worse, he immediately proves you wrong. Genuinely, Bion, I want to know, what do you think that Ross did this for, if not entertainment or enjoyment? Clearly you think that Ross is very new to this world and he just hasn't figured stuff out yet. I guess your idea here is he didn't know what would happen if he launched a possum into the air. Maybe he doesn't even know what a slingshot is. That's what it seems like you are trying to imply here, because what do you mean he looked concerned? Are you genuinely under the impression that Ross thought the possum would be 100% fine after he launched it 100 feet in the air? You cannot be fucking serious, dude.
Like, of course, I'm not going to show the video, but you can find it out there. It's still available. r/YouTube drama. Okay, search it up. Search up like the keyword opossum in the subreddit and you can find it. And it's not like he was laughing or finding entertainment or enjoyment out of this, right? But he did feel like he needed to share it online for whatever reason, without thinking that it could get like some backlash. But the fact that we're trying to cancel dude over this is just cringe. I've seen people make videos being like, yeah, this is the worst thing ever. He should be canceled, stuff like that. But I don't think that he should be canceled or have his career ruined because he decided to do something like this. Now, if it keeps happening, right, then we can start talking about cancellations.
What's your limit? Like 10 possums? Once he launches 10 possums into the air, then we have your blessing to cancel him? You're too kind. Funny how this is simultaneously not bad enough for him to be canceled, but somehow if he kept doing it, it eventually would be. I don't feel like that really makes any sense, and I don't think that there's anything else that anybody would try to apply that to, where it's like, oh yeah, I mean, this is pretty bad, but you get 1 or 2 free ones. After your 3rd or 4th, though, it's game over, buddy. You're out of here.
But you guys, if you are not understanding it yet, you're going to realize how stupid this is when I start reading the comments of some of these other videos that have been covering the situation. And when I leave what I would like to say is a balanced take on the situation, people come flying at me with the same rhetoric, the same, oh, these are serial killer vibes and whatnot. He's abusing animals for fun. That's like what a serial killer would do before the serial killer goes nuts. Like, it's ridiculous, bro. Just like, let's take a look, okay? So here's what I said. I said, am I the only one who doesn't care to cancel a creator for launching a possum into the air for a YouTube short? Like, I don't think it's something Ross should have done or should do again, but the amount of backlash he's gotten for it is too much in my opinion. I think that's fair and actually quite reasonable.
Can you explain why that is, Bion? Or do you just think because something is your opinion, it's automatically right and it's reasonable? I'd really like to hear your thoughts on why you both think that this is something that Ross shouldn't have done and it's something that he shouldn't do again, but at the same time, it's something that he shouldn't be getting this kind of backlash for. That sort of thinking can apply to a lot of things. Do you really think that that is a fair thing to say when you were talking about something that probably took like days to set up? Like, multiple people were probably advised for this. Like, there was a lot of time to think about this. This was not like an impulsive decision. You can't do this impulsively. Do you really not think that this is a display of Ross's character and it's something that should just be forgotten and ignored? I'd like to hear you really explain why you feel that way, if so.
And then I get these replies like, if you enjoy giving money to people who get off on animal abuse, then you're free to. Like, when was my comment ever saying that I'm even a fan of him? Like, I mean, I'm subscribed to him. I've been subscribed to him for a while, but I can't remember the last time I've watched a video. I'm subscribed to so many people, just like if there's ever drama that's happening, like, so I can see it like firsthand when it happens, like in the notifications. I'll subscribe to people like with notifications just for that reason and never watch them. And I guess you really couldn't say that about Ross, but I've been subscribed to the dude, and let's be real, I have not watched a video in a while. But even if I was a fan, like, is that really like not a fair take regardless? Are we really gonna sit here and like say, yeah, this guy sucks, and like do the vibes of, oh yeah, don't ask Ross about the possum video or whatever? Like, are we really gonna do that like as a stain on his reputation and say he should be canceled or whatever? Like, I think that's just pathetic.
Yeah, but why? You keep saying this. You keep saying how this is like not something worth being canceled over, that this is pathetic, that making this a stain on his reputation is unfair, but like, why? I think this is the problem that a lot of people have with the commentary channels, is they make these extremely fucking bold claims, and their reasoning is because I think so. Why? Why do you think a person killing an animal for content should not be a stain on his reputation? Because I can explain why I think it should be. Subjecting an animal to a slow, painful death for any reason is inhumane. It's something that no human should feel comfortable doing. It shows that you really just don't value life like you should. Subjecting an animal to a slow, agonizing death for an Instagram reel seems to imply that you have no fucking morals. If you are willing to kill something, especially in a cruel, extravagant way just because you think it's funny or entertaining, you should not have a platform. That is not the kind of thing that should be supported, because because killing things for fun is wrong. If you disagree with that, then you are disagreeing with something that helps uphold our society, which is the human idea that causing unnecessary suffering is wrong, which means you don't really have any morality. So in that case, I can't help you.
But no, this comment is just fucking weird and implies that I'm giving Ross money. And apparently Ross like gets off to animal abuse. Since when was Ross getting off to animal abuse? Like, when? These people are over exaggerating the situation as if like Ross was like literally beating, okay, maybe I shouldn't say this on YouTube, to this possum being launched into the air.
So again, more obtuseness. That is not the way the guy is using the phrase get off in this context. And I think you know that.
When if you watch the video, which I'm not showing it here again, by the way, if you watch the video, he was not laughing. He was actually kind of concerned. If you're going to potentially kill something for entertainment, you deserve any flack you get. Okay, I guess this is a more reasonable comment. But again, I think he's gotten way too much backlash for this. And the fact that people want to cancel him over this video and they want to over exaggerate is a little over the top, in my opinion. Killing an animal that can feel pain and fear and is just as smart as a dog, that is not true. In such a horrible way is huge deal. I love the grammar with this one. This is how serial killers start. Yeah, right. Okay, not true. This is never okay, and he should receive way more backlash, as in go to jail. Since this is a crime, this is literally illegal. Now, I don't know the legality of this, but you think the police are really gonna give a shit? Let's be real, I highly doubt they are. Especially because it's like, you can't really say that this is animal abuse. Like, believe it or not, you can't.
Okay, so I mean, at this point, I genuinely can't tell if this guy is rage baiting or if he's just stupid. Bion, when you say that you can't call this animal abuse, you just can't, what the fuck do you mean? Genuinely. Why? Why can you not call this animal abuse? Do you know what those two words in succession mean? I'm beginning to think you don't. And then like everything he says about this comment is wrong. So again, as he's done for like a dozen different things in this video, he thinks that just saying that possums aren't as smart as dogs magically just makes it true. Unfortunately for you, Bion, that's not really how things work. Well, obviously the consensus is that the average possum is not as smart as the average dog. You're gonna take it a lot further than that and say that possums are dumb as shit compared to dogs. Verbatim. There have been multiple studies, and I'll throw them up on the screen, that have produced evidence that possums can remember better than dogs, that when it comes to stuff like navigating, especially to find food, that possums are better than dogs, that their ability to learn does not differ from other mammals that we often think of as smart, and a whole lot of other evidence that makes this claim and a future claim you're about to make lose a whole lot of weight. And might I add that I don't think it should really matter. The idea that how okay it is to torture an animal to death should be based off of how smart it is weird to me. Just because something is dumb does not mean it deserves to suffer. A newborn baby is comparatively dumb to a lot of animals. Does that magically make it okay for a baby to suffer? Of fucking course not. Then again, he just laughs off the idea for some reason that many serial killers have also been animal abusers. I don't know why he's like so against that. Maybe he's just misunderstanding why people are bringing it up. And then he starts to talk about how the police aren't going to give a shit, which it seems like he's saying that to imply that that somehow makes this better. Just everything this guy says about this comment is insane.
But I guess that's beyond the point here. Possums are not as smart as dogs. And honestly, comparing possums to dogs is kind of just like shaming dogs and making it seem like dogs are stupid, because possums, way smaller brain. And let's be real, if the police decide to start using possums instead of like canines, right? Well, at that point, you might as well throw the whole program out, because possums are dumb as shit, believe it or not. And it's kind of crazy being ignorant enough to compare something like a possum to a dog, when it's like, even without like the extra like scientific tests, like about how dogs can remember hundreds of words, learn tricks and stuff like that, and somewhat understand humans, right, enough to be companions to humans. It's kind of crazy to say a possum is as smart as a dog, right, when the possum has a smaller and simpler brain than any dog out there.
Nobody, you're the only person who's ignorant here. You are literally just talking out of your ass. You are making shit up as you go because you just think it's true. First of all, there is a lot more to an animal's intelligence than like how well it can be domesticated. But it's around this point that I begin to realize that this entire time, you haven't really talked about why Ross does not deserve backlash. You're nitpicking things that aren't really all that relevant. You really haven't voiced your opinion on why people should not be upset about this guy making the video that he did. You really haven't explained that. Again, I feel like you know you're in the wrong here, so you're just attacking shit that doesn't really really matter.
And to be fair, they're two totally different organisms with different responsibilities. But besides that, again, nobody is defending what Ross has done. Fun fact, due to their light weight and extra fluffy fur, squirrels have a very low terminal velocity and can survive a fall from any height. Oh, really? Oh, okay. So you're saying if there was a squirrel that was skydiving, right? Or maybe it jumped off like a skyscraper, like we're talking like, let's say 400 to 600 feet up in the air, okay? So you're saying that if we test that one out, okay? If we test that, like actually, like throw a squirrel off the top of a skyscraper, which by the way, do not do. But say if like the scientists want to do it for like a test or something and they want to see if this works out. So you're saying 100% they can fall from any height, meaning that they can fall from the top of a skyscraper and be alive still? Or once again, if they're skydiving and then they hit the ground, you think that they're going to survive from that? Now, don't get me wrong, maybe they could, but I don't know. I don't know if they could. I'm like assuming that probably not.
Oh my god, he finally admitted it. He finally admitted he's just talking out of his ass, making shit up. This guy goes on a 2-minute long tangent about how squirrels could not possibly do this, and then he says, but I don't know, maybe they could. Then why spend 2 minutes saying they can't? No, this is like the general consensus right now. Scientists do think that because of the way they're built, squirrels can survive terminal velocity. Yes, that is what science thinks. I don't think that they're actively testing this, but yes, this is the running theory. A 45-second long Google search would have told you that. This guy isn't even willing to Google something before making himself look like an idiot.
But you're saying that it's a fun fact that a squirrel can fall from any height and not die? That's crazy work. And the fact that you frame this like so, like, I guess it looks like you're like logically contributing here and you're looking smart. You got a lot of likes on this comment, even though not everything about it is true, including that right there, that a squirrel can survive a fall from any height. That seems like it's a little over exaggerated because I don't know how true that is. I don't think that's true at all.
My god, can you imagine being this confident saying stuff like this on the internet? He has fully dropped the mask at this point. He's not even trying to hide it. That seems like that's a little over exaggerated because I don't know how true that is. Can you not see the fucking irony in that statement, buddy? You are literally saying, I'm ignorant to this. I do not have the information to know whether or not this is true, but I'm pretty sure this is not true. You are admitting to the world that you are just guessing about everything, and your first guess, your first intuition, is what you run with as fact.
Meaning, should a squirrel make its way onto the Animal Yeater 9000, they'd be perfectly fine. Yeah, I don't know about that. Have you ever tried that? Are you a scientist or are you backing any like scientific study here? It doesn't seem like it. But to say that if they made it to the Animal Yeater 9000, that they'd be perfectly fine based off of that they can apparently survive a fall from any height, I don't know how logical that is. It doesn't seem very logical at all. And genuinely, what are your sources on that?
This fucking guy. The gall for him to ask this person, what are your sources on this? When his source for everything during this entire video has been that he made it the fuck up.
Not so fun fact, the North American possum is very dense with short fur, so even a 6 to 10 foot fall is enough to seriously injure one. That opossum walked away, but only because of the sheer amount of adrenaline pumping through its body and likely died a painful death after it wore off. And by the way, might I ask where you found this information from? What your source was on this? Because I think it's just, trust me, bro. Trust me. Like, is it really that hard to like see that this is a flawed comment? Because if you do the slightest amount of research on this, where did you get so even a 6 to 10 foot fall is enough to seriously injure one? Like, where'd you get that? Seems like you pulled that one out of your ass. That's what it seems like. Because these creatures are known to fall off of things like all the time, including roofs. I'm just saying, like 6 feet, okay, like the starting, like the minimum 6 feet. Like there are a lot of people out there that are 6 feet tall. And then if you do 4 more feet on top of that, so you got a 6 foot tall person and then you got a 4 foot tall person, like just like stacked on top of each other. That's not really okay, you get what I'm saying here, but like
No, No, Bion, I really fucking don't. What the fuck are you talking about? You're stacking humans? Like, what do you mean? Yeah, so a 10-foot tall height. So if you take 5 feet and you add 5 more feet, you get where I'm going with this. Like, what the fuck are you even talking about, dude? This has gotta be rage bait.
From that height, I don't know. Especially like if we're talking about like in the video, it looks like the possum, it looks like it fell on like a little grassy patch. And sure, you could hear the thud, but that's not always representative of like the animal being injured. I'm just saying, like, especially if it just walked off like after and it didn't look like it was hurt. Let's be real, it probably wasn't hurt.
At this point, I just truly don't even know what to say about this guy anymore. Like, this kind commenter just explained to you what adrenaline is, and you're like, yeah, but I mean, the possum walked away, so it's fine. This guy has gone between saying, what do you mean a squirrel could fall off a building and be fine? Are you stupid? To a possum that was launched 100 feet in the air? Yeah, he's gonna be fine, you idiot. Like, I feel like you've got to pick one there, brother.
But to say that like a 6 to 10 foot fall is enough to seriously injure one of them is crazy. That's what I think. I think it's crazy. Now, don't get me wrong. That thud in the video, it sounded like you dropping a brick like on the ground from that high, right? Like that's what it sounded like. But it was walking away. Didn't look injured by the video. Then you're saying that the possum walked away, but only because of the sheer amount of adrenaline pumping through its body, it likely died a painful death after it wore off. Like, are you sure? Are you sure? This is such a flawed comment. The fact that it has all these likes on it because it's somebody trying to look like they're smart when they're not, and none of this is actually back, is crazy to me. Like, we have people out here trying to make it seem like the possum is like a fragile little animal, right? When that is just not the case. And to make these unverified claims that, oh, it only walked away and was able to walk away because the sheer amount of adrenaline pumping through its body, and then saying that it likely died after, I think these are insane, uneducated statements that have been put out, and everybody just seems to agree with it and like it.
Bion, please, do not call people uneducated right now, okay? You just spent an entire minute making a damn good argument that you just know nothing. Is a 6 to 10 foot fall gonna seriously injure most things most of the time? No, it won't. But if you seriously think that nothing can happen in that distance, you're the uneducated one, buddy. A human being can die falling that far. Unlike you, I'll give a source. Here's one from a survey looking at deaths in the construction industry. With data collected between 2016 and 2018, it was found that 11.7%, over 1/10 of the fatalities that resulted from a fall, were because of a fall from between 6 and 10 feet. I mean, do you think that like we as animals are just like invincible or something, dude? You can absolutely get severely fucked up from a fall in those ranges. Your seeming refusal to just think about anything is absurd. How have you made it this far?
But anyways, I guess I could sit here going through all of the comments and like dissecting them and finding the flaws, but I won't do that. I think you guys get my take on the situation. I think that it's pretty pathetic that he did this in the first place, but also at the same time, do I feel the need that he deserves to be canceled or some shit for this, and people trying to make him out as if like he's like an animal abuser or future serial killer or something like that? I think that's absurd. So no, like, I know this video is going to be hate bound, but I don't care. I don't have a horse in this race, I guess. The only reason why I came on to talk about this is because, well, a lot of people were kind of making me want to with these comments, these uneducated comments, and people just saying whatever comes to their mind and trying to treat it as a fun fact when it's not.
The shit that is coming out of this guy's mouth is genuinely getting to the point that I'm starting to have trouble believing it. The guy who has made up every single thing that he has said throughout this entire video is saying that other people are making things up and calling them facts. I mean, there is simply not a single ounce of self-awareness in this guy whatsoever. It's baffling. Anyways, that is pretty much the entirety of his video. He closes it out by basically saying, if you know Ross, then you would know that he does stuff like this. He makes these pranks. He doesn't care what anybody says. It's all for shits and giggles, like this guy personally knows Ross Creations or something. You know, just more bullshit. Guys, I think that this video has, like, honestly aged me. This was an absurd experience. To talk for 20 minutes straight and not even accidentally say something that is correct, that is something that I don't think I've ever seen. Yeah, wow. I think I need a moment to collect my thoughts. Well, guys, what are your thoughts? I don't know if I can produce anymore. This is one of the longest videos I've ever made because I just couldn't stop myself. yourself. I hope my coverage of your opinions was sufficient for you, Bion. I went through the comment section on this video and you were just responding to everybody. Did you even watch the video? Watch the video? Yeah, I watched the video. It's fucking terrible. Like seriously, I don't think I've ever seen a series of worse takes in my time on YouTube. I really don't. It was just banger after banger after banger, and honestly, I don't know how you do it, dude. It's impressive. I know that this is like probably what you wanted. Like this is what you wanted to get out of making a video like that. I don't really give a fuck though. You deserve to be called out for this dumbass shit, so I had to do it. Hope you're happy. See ya.